Welcome to Neo Royal, House of Pricey Cardboard. On today's episode of Commander Gameplay, me and Kelly are joined by two of our great friends, ProxyLab and Sam from Commander Crunch. Check them out on Twitter to follow them in their many adventures, while you can find Sam's podcast on most podcast outlets like Spotify. Proxy is playing as Saheeli the Gifted, a bit of Affinity, a bit of Superfriends, and a bit of Polymorph, a recipe for explosive Commander gameplay. Oh yeah, and mana rocks. So many mana rocks. Sam is playing a deck dear to his heart, Firja, Judge of Valor. This is a reanimation shell that is running a lot of cheap interaction to both keep the board in check and fills Sam's graveyard with powerful creatures. Even his finishers are somewhat board control with cards like Elishnorn and Archon of Cruelty. Kelly is playing our many Demon Kraken deck. With Gyruda, Doom of Death as companion, this deck is looking to get Sakashima on the battlefield to remove legendary rule and start chaining clones into clones for a massive and explosive board while our decks gets thinner and thinner. The deck can win through damage with a Dreadhound but will mostly try and close by milling us out or a Tessa's Oracle with an empty library. For myself, I'm playing my Zirda the Dawnwaker. This is a token list looking to use Zirda's reduction to fuel my card draw and my army engine, closing the match either with combat damage with something like a Qatar's Crusade or burn with Perforos. Proxy's opening hand contains Jalira Master Polymorphist, Mirrodin Besiege, Rhystic Study, Blasphemous Act, Fabled Passage, Seed of the Synod, and a basic Mountain. Sam's opening hand contains Grey Merchant of Asphodel, Necropolis Regent, Animate Dead, Temple of the False God, and 3 basic swamps. Kelly's opening hand contains Dimir, Phyrexian Metamorph, Massacre Worm, Feed the Swarm, Nykthos Shrine to Nyx, Phyrexian Tower, and a Myriad Landscape. My opening hand contains Goblin Engineer, Aruas God of Victory, Cavalier Flames, Path to Exile, Boros Garrison, Ancient Den, and a basic Plains. I get to start this off. And land drops a Plains. Proxy land drops a Fabled Passage, cracking it for a basic island. Sam land drops a Swamp, while Kelly land drops a Sunken Hollow. I land drop an Ancient Den, before casting Arcane Signet.
I hope I'm gonna draw ramp, because all I have is lands and 4 drops.
I don't feel so bad now. I was like...
Proxy land drops a Temple of Epiphany, scrying 1. Sam land drops another Swamp.
Draw. Well, we're gonna keep the train of lands and pass.
Yeah.
I drew another 4 drop.
I cast Goblin Engineer. Entering the battlefield, I put to graveyard Arcane Encyclopedia. I land drop a Boros Garrison and pass. Proxy land drops a Seat of the Synod. He then casts Rhystic Study. Sam land drops a Swamp.
I'm gonna say I could hold off playing a land and let something go to the graveyard.
Oh,
Sneaky.
I did that once. It bit me in the ass.
Yeah, I know.
Kelly land drops a Clearwater Pathway, ending turn 3. I replay the Ancient Den and cast my commander, Zirda the Dawnwaker. Proxy land drops an island and casts his own commander, Saheeli the Gifted.
Our creations are more than mere things. They have life in them, bits of ourselves.
Using our +1 to create a servo token. Sam goes through his phases straight to discard, putting Dreadhound to the grave. Kelly land drops a Drawn Yard Temple. She casts a Panharmonicon. At the end step, I activate the Goblin to trade the artifact land for the Encyclopedia. On my turn, I cast Jeska's Will, generating 8 red mana and exiling my top 3 cards to be played this turn. I use my Encyclopedia to draw a card, and I follow it up by casting the Boros Signet and Skull Clamp, paying both taxes. I cast Talia, Heretic Qatar, before playing our War Room as land for turn. I head into combat, sending Zirda and my Goblin to Saheeli. Proxy blocks most of the damage with a servo. I then pass. Proxy land drops a Mountain. He then casts Izzet, Artifice Master, using the +1 to get a Topter, while Saheeli +1 creates a servo.
We'll play a Temple of the False God tapped. Sad.
Sam casts Soul Ring, followed by Animate Dead, bringing back the Dreadhound. Sam mills his top 3 on ATB, including 1 creature. Kelly casts Talisman of Dominance, and pass, but at the end step, I draw a card with the War Room. I land drop a Mountain, before casting Cavalier of Flames. Entering the battlefield, I discard 2 cards, triggering the Dreadhound once.
Let's go to combat.
Don't do it.
Oh yeah, I'm
All
gonna
of this
do
stuff is that.
Don't do it.
I will.
You're gonna make me do things.
You're gonna do the things anyway.
Oh.
You gave me a pass last game and I won, so I expect you to not give me pass at least for today.
For my combat step, I take out Tezzeret, while my Goblin attacks Saheeli. ProxyLab drops a mountain, and casts Blasphemous Act to avenge his lost Planeswalker. Before the board wipe, I draw a card with the book. My Cavalier triggers for 1, while Sam's Dreadhound triggers 7 times.
Doggy.
Bye, doggy. That's very sad because I wanted to copy him on my turn. Now I will have nothing to do.
Don't worry, Kelly. This is not the last we see of Doggy. Not in this deck, like.
Proxy +1 Saheeli for another servo, and pass. Sam casts Cryptghast, getting even more black mana. Kelly then drops Nyctos Shrine Tunics, and puts her companion to hand for 3 mana. I untap and cast Lentax, as well as a Scroll Rack.
I guess
You guys are doing really good
no.
at keeping me from drawing cards.
That's what you have to do.
Being responsible citizens.
Yep.
Can't just go around feeding the heuristic study.
I activate Scroll Rack for 4, and land drop a Plains, shipping the turn to Proxy. Proxy land drops an Exotic Archer, a +1 Saheeli for a servo, and casts Mirrodin Besieged, choosing Mirren. He then casts Jalira, Master Polymorphist. On his turn, Sam casts Necropolis Regent, paying the Study and the Extort. He goes to combat, sending Cryptghast to me. On damage, the Regent puts 2 counter on it.
Alright, untap. Woohoo! Draw! It's a land! It's a rivière souterraine! I can tap, ajouter un mana incolore à votre réserve.
Non, je ne parle pas français.
Je ne comprends pas. something terroir.
Kelly casts her companion, Gyruda, Doom of Depths.
Some say a beast lives in those waters. You see, it's called the Demon Kraken!
Panharmonicon doubles the ETB, and Kelly takes Villis, Broker of Blood on the first, while she takes my Iliad, God of the Sun, on the second. At my upkeep, I get 3 planes with Lentax. I then draw for turn and land drop one of them. I activate Scroll Rack for 4, and cast Eugen the Ineffable, using its -3 to destroy the Heuristic Study. I am then free to cast Endless Atlas for 0 mana, ending my turn. Proxy then drops a Darksteel Citadel. He then casts Veldaken Archmage, and follow it up with a Talisman of Creativity, drawing a card before using Saheeli's +1 to create another servo. Going to combat, 2 servos take care of Eugen.
Oh, we did it! We did it! I'm playing an Orzhov deck. Playing an Orzhov deck. Everything just comes to life now. Look, the temple turns on. I can play my commander. It happens. The world is magical.
Finally!
So happy! I'm so happy! Alright.
Sam finally cast his commander, Firja, Judge of Valor.
I am both shepherd and reaper. My judgment is final.
He casts Stitch Together, targeting the Dreadhound. Before resolving, we have a Firja trigger. The good dog then comes back on the board, milling Sam for 3. Heading into combat, the Necropolis Regent goes to Proxy, while Cryptghast comes back to me. Proxy reacts to attackers by polymorphing a servo. He flips into Blightsteel Colossus, which is not a flying blocker despite being a big problem for the table. We take the damage and Sam puts counters on his creatures. On her turn, Kelly casts one of her partners, Sakashima of 1,000 Faces.
Now you see me?
Now you don't. Entering as a second Gyruda, we get 2 more ETBs. 5 creatures are milled, which triggers the Dreadhound and then Villis. Kelly grabs the Sakashima student, getting 2 more ETBs. We milled 3 creatures, and Kelly grabs Torrential Gearhulk from the death. On ETB, the Gearhulk casts Makeshift Mannequin, reanimating the OG clone.
Wait a second, I see what you're doing. Are you using my doggy to kill your opponents? This is the greatest thing ever.
I feel like we're gonna die to that many ETBs, so I react by casting a Path to Exile on the Dreadhound. Sam has a reaction as well, casting a Soul Shatter with Extort.
Phil doesn't lose anything.
No, because I don't have anything.
Vilis and Blightsteel are sacrificed. Dreadhound is exiled in exchange of a plains, and we go back to the Kraken stack. Kelly gets Sam's Loyal Warhound. She gets her own Solemn Simulacrum, and then my Sun Titan, getting a land with the Titan's ETB. Lastly, she grabs Noxious Gearhulk, destroying the Regent and the Cryptghast, gaining 19 life. After all that, Kelly landdrops a Cabal Coffers. She casts Massacre Worm with 2 ETBs, clearing her opponent's creatures. Determined to empty her mana pool, she casts Dredge Return, returning Vilis to board, and then a Leaden Mere, leaving main phase 1. On her combat step, Gyruda deals 6 damage to Sam. I get a land tax trigger at the upkeep, and land drop a plains for turn. I cast Fell the Mighty, targeting Solemn Simulacrum. I did miss the fact that the mirror was 1 power. I then cast Smothering Tide and pass. Proxy pays for the Smothering Tide, and land drops a Silver Bluff Bridge, E+1 Saheeli for a servo, before casting Reality Scramble on the artifact creature, somehow getting back his Blightsteel Colossus in a twisted turn of events. He casts a Sapphire Medallion and pass. Sam land drops a plains. He recasts Firja, and then a Selfless Glyph Weaver. Kelly flashbacks Dredge Return for Gyruda. She gets Infant Mutineer from the depth, exiling Firja and Blightsteel on ETB.
Okay, so I'm gonna take this Sire of Stagnation from my...
Ew. I love it.
Syra's here.
Oh my goodness. I'm not the problem. I'm not the problem.
No, I am.
Salamander.
She casts Gravedigger, getting her commander and Sakashima student to hand. She recasts Sakashima for 2 more ETBs. She gets Consecrated Sphinx and Archon of Cruelty from the depth. The Archon targets Proxy and Sam with the ETBs, taking Proxy out of the game. Kelly then land drops a Witch Cottage, and at the end step, I scroll rack for 5. At this point, she has around 23 cards in her library and a Thassa's Recall in the graveyard. I draw for turn, and land drop the Rugged Prairie. I scroll rack for 5 and recast Zirda. I follow it up with Perforos, God of the Forge. I then cast Sacred Mesa. I draw with both my books and pass. Sam draws for turn.
Creatures in graveyards, folks.
Oh boy, a lot.
Give me a shopping list. I want to see some coolness.
2, 3. You can look at my deck list. That's pretty much.
Pretty much the whole thing.
He casts Unburial Rites for his Sepulchral Primordial. On ETB, Sam gets my Cavalier of Flames and the Massacre Worm. He does not wheel any card away. He casts Cleansing Nova, choosing to destroy all creatures.
Oh, the land's in his graveyard. He's gonna bolt us for the lands in his graveyard.
Oh, we're gonna die.
Right?
With 19 lands in his graveyard, I react with a Chaos Warp on the Cavalier. Since I am the owner, I get the free permanent. It's a Blaring Recruiter. Still before the wipe, I cast Flawless Maneuver. And since Sam doesn't have my Cavalier to sacrifice anymore, he activates the Selfless Glyph Weaver. Long story short, Kelly gets board wiped. Sam casts a Sign in Blood and pass. Kelly then just Bojika Bug, pretty much exiling Sam's library. She casts Mana Crypt and a Grave Shifter, returning Gyruda and Thassa's Oracle to hand.
A companion, you've managed to keep that thing around like a commander. It's amazing.
5.
Oh, that was interesting. I was totally thinking about that as this goes to your command zone, and I forgot it was a companion. So
she recasts the Demon Kraken, grabbing Phyrexian Metamorph from the depth, getting the ETB but sacrificing it to the legendary rule. She gets Thief of Blood, Thassa Deep Welling, and whiffs on the last one. Kelly and I are currently out of library, and Sam has 1 card in his deck.
As long as you don't draw.
Oh. But I'm gonna draw.
Yeah, but then if all your opponents are dead before you draw, you win.
Oh yeah, so I go to my end step and that's this deep dwelling trigger and I do that again.
Ooh.
So Sam mills his last card.
Yeah.
Tainted field.
Oh, shit! Oh my god!
I don't have any
Wait. I have a scroll rack.
Yo.
Oh no!
Oh yeah.
So we are on untap.
So untap, upkeep, tap scroll rack, put 5 cards on top of my deck, draw 5. Oh no, it's not draw, so it's okay. Oh my god. So exile these 5s, put 5 cards from my deck into my hand, put these 5s on top of my deck,
Oh
then
my god.
draw for turn.
Are you kidding me?
That's funny.
In the immortal words of Nelson.
Kelly untaps and rolls for crypt. Before the draw step, she casts Sublime Epiphany to bounce Perforos, copy Gyruda, and then make me draw a card. Gotta love the fact that the draw is at the end of the list. Reacting to the spell, I create 11 Pegasus, dealing 22 damage to Kelly.
I make 11 Pegasus.
I hate you.
Not the ponies. Not the
I
ponies.
hate you.
Stay gold, Pony Boy. Stay gold.
Stay gold, exactly.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you're not done watching Magic content, we have a big library of games and commanders for you to explore. Last week's episode was a great one with Modanen, Fitz, and Andy from the Guardian Project podcast. Thank you to the patrons of the channel for supporting us directly. You can find the link to the Patreon page in the description. Take care, my friend, and we'll see you very soon.